Hi everyone. Today, we're tackling a common problem: fixing a broken dual boot setup on your Steam Deck. Maybe you installed Windows alongside SteamOS, and now it won't boot. Don't worry, we'll walk through some troubleshooting steps. First, let's understand the problem. A messed up bootloader is usually the culprit. This is the small piece of software that decides which operating system to start. If it gets corrupted or misconfigured, your deck might get stuck or boot into the wrong OS. One common cause is Windows updates messing with the boot configuration. Sometimes, simply reinstalling the bootloader can fix everything. We can do this from a bootable USB drive with a live Linux environment. Another potential problem is incorrect boot order in the BIOS. Let's dive into the steps for fixing this. First, you'll need a USB drive with a Linux distribution like pop_os or Ubuntu. Download the ISO file for your chosen distro and use a tool like Rufus to create a bootable USB. Make sure to back up any important data before proceeding, just in case something goes wrong. Now, boot your Steam Deck from the USB drive. To do this, power off your Steam Deck completely. Then, hold the volume down button and press the power button. Keep holding volume down until the boot selection menu appears. Select your USB drive. Once your Linux environment is running, you'll need to identify your EFI partition. This is where the bootloader files are stored. Open a terminal and use the command lsblk to list your blocked devices. Look for a partition with the EFI flag. It's usually a small partition formatted as FAT32. Mount the EFI partition to a directory. For example, if your EFI partition is /dev/nmi0n1p1, you can mount it with the command sudo mount /dev/nmi0n1p1/mnt. Next, we'll use fabootingr to manage the boot entries. If it's not already installed, install it with sudo apt update and in sudo apt install fabootingr. Run sudo fabootingrv to view the current boot entries. Look for any entries related to Windows or SteamOS. If there are duplicate or incorrect entries, you can delete them using sudo fabootingrb xxxxb, where xxxx is the boot number you want to delete. Now, let's recreate the SteamOS boot entry. We'll need to know the path to the SteamOS bootloader. This is usually located in /boot/fe/efi/steamos/steamcl.fe. Run the following command: sudo fabootingr cgd/dev/nmi0n1p1l/efi/steamos/steamcl.fel steamos. Replace /dev/nmi0n1 and p1 with the correct values for your NVMe drive and EFI partition number if they are different. Now, let's recreate the Windows boot entry. The path to the Windows bootloader is typically /boot/fe/efi/microsoft-boot/bootingfu.fe. Run the following command: sudo fabootingr cgd/dev/nmi0n1p1l/efi/microsoft/boot/bootingfu.fel Windows. Again, adjust the device and partition numbers as needed. After recreating the boot entries, run sudo fabootingrv again to verify that the entries are correct. Finally, reboot your Steam Deck and see if it boots into the correct OS. You might need to adjust the boot order in the BIOS settings. You can access the BIOS by holding the volume up button and pressing the power button. From there, navigate to the boot order settings and prioritize the operating system you want to boot into by default. Remember that messing with the bootloader can be risky. Double-check your commands before executing them. With some careful troubleshooting, you should be able to get your dual boot setup working again. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Steam Deck tips and tricks. Also, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or other troubleshooting steps you'd like me to cover in future videos.